Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am Leslie and I was thinking today, because that is what I do, I think about things and then I come on this channel and I talk about them. But I was thinking about how this one time I was friends with a group and we were out for the night, and I just remember feeling, and I can still remember that feeling of just feeling so misunderstood and just so out of place, and like I was just not where I was meant to be. And it had nothing to do with them. I didn't think that I was better or worse than them. I just felt like these people that I was hanging out with did not understand me. And I don't know if there is a more lonelier feeling than being surrounded by people and feeling like you don't really belong there. And today I just wanted to talk about it because it's very important to know when to leave, when to separate yourself. Otherwise, we can spend so much of our time in places and with people that just aren't really meant for us, that don't fill our cup and that don't really deserve to have a place in our life. And last year, actually, I said goodbye to one of my very, very close friends. We had been friends for years and years and years, and I'm not going to go into detail because I still love them and I still have respect and everything for them. But you know, I set a boundary, and this was around the time that I just started to really work on myself, and I just kind of gained that self-respect that I had been missing for a very long time, that I just didn't really have. And it was around that time that I started to gain my self-respect, that I noticed these things that were happening. And so I finally set a boundary, and unfortunately not long later was that boundary crossed. And it's upsetting. However, after setting the boundary, after having the boundary crossed and then saying goodbye, I spent a little bit more time on myself. And then not long later did I meet someone who has been so supportive, more supportive than I believe this other friendship had ever been. And I was friends with that person for a very, very long time. And I've only been friends with this other person for the last few months, since about July. And it's interesting because sometimes we equate length of time with how deserving someone is meant to be in our life. And I'll go back to the feeling of emptiness and aloneness that I was talking about in the start of this video, but I just wanted to use this example because it's really important to know when to say goodbye. Who we surround ourselves with is so important for our life. It's so important for who we are. The support that I've had from this friend that I've made has helped me to continue with posting on YouTube. And I love posting on YouTube. It's so much fun. I can reach out to them and I can talk to them about things, and they reciprocate that with ideas, and they reciprocate that with complete support and positivity. And I'm not going to talk about the other friendship because I do still have respect and love for that person, but just talking about friendships and the people that we have in our life, just in general, it's so important to be selective. It's so important to keep the right people around. And going back to what I was saying at the start of the video, if you feel like you are surrounded by people but they don't really even understand you, it's important to know when to leave. It's important to know that it's better to be alone than surrounded by the wrong people. Than surrounded by people who don't even try to understand you. Surrounded by people who you know you're going to have a good time with, but that's about it. And that was how I felt with that friend group. It was like we spent, you know, every Thursday night and then every weekend together, and so all my time was being filled and I wasn't lonely, but I also was, in the sense of I'm not fully fulfilled with the people that I'm surrounded by. I don't know if I really share the same values, and not that I think I'm better or worse than them, I just think that, am I a better person or a not so good person when I spend time with them? Is this who I want to be? Is this how I want to feel surrounded by my friends? Is this what I want to be doing? Or am I just afraid to be alone? And then talking back to the friend that I let go of last year, I didn't really have a major, I don't have a big friend group, and I do love this person, but my biggest fear was losing this person and not making any more friends, and not having anyone to share anything with, not having anyone to talk to. And I just think that it's so important that we understand that, yes, we might be alone for a little while, but maybe that's good. Maybe spending a bit of time figuring out who we are, what we want to do, what we enjoy doing, what's going to fulfill us, you know, loving ourselves, and then aligning that with people who truly deserve a seat at our table. There's been quite a few achievements that I've had during this year that I don't know if I would have felt completely comfortable sharing with that other person in my life. And yet this new person that I've only known for the last few months, I share everything with, because I feel so supported. I trust them so much, and we have an equal give and take that I don't know if I ever really felt in that other friendship. And I'm not telling you to just cut everyone out of your life and go be alone, and like, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if you don't feel supported, if you feel more alone, like you don't really fit in with these people, then maybe it's time to separate yourself a little bit. Maybe it's time to put more energy into yourself rather than the energy of spending time with them, because sometimes it can feel like we're just wasting time because we don't want to be alone. And we're human. It's okay to feel like that, you know. It's okay to not want to be alone, but it gets to a point where, you know, you're 30, 40 years old, you starting to look into having a family of your own, and it's like, do you see these people in your life? And, you know, it doesn't have to be that deep, but it can also relate back to your achievements. Say you achieve something, do you feel completely comfortable sharing it with the people around you? Do you feel comfortable sharing your ideas with the people around you? Do you feel comfortable sharing your secrets with the people around you? Do you get motivated by the people around you? Do you feel loved by the people around you and trust? Do you have equal give and take? You know, it's all these things that is super important to reflect on, because it's very true that the people we surround ourselves with are a reflection of ourselves. And over the last year and a half that I've been on my journey of health, when it comes to my 50 kilo weight loss, when it comes to going to therapy, when it comes to moving overseas and dealing with illness and everything, and none of that I told the other person. And throughout all of those accomplishments and downfalls, I spent a lot of that time alone because I wasn't fully comfortable sharing that with the people around me. And it's not even just the good things. Do you feel comfortable sharing the bad things? You know, I got sick when I was overseas, and I almost felt like, who can I tell about this? Who can I talk to about this that wasn't going to talk about this behind my back? It's all of these things that is super important to reflect on, because like I said, the people that we surround ourselves with are really a reflection of us. And I am super confident with myself now, and I'm very at ease with myself now, and I believe that I wouldn't feel so at ease sharing a lot of what I've been through with this other person, with these other people that I have been friends with before. On the other side of that, if you are feeling alone, because a lot of us are, I'm feeling very alone sometimes too, and especially over the last year, I've spent a very long time by myself, but I've also got to know myself. I've also got to figure out who I am, and I think finding comfort with being on your own is very important, because you don't cling to the wrong people, you don't cling to the wrong situations, the wrong environments. You have an understanding of who you are, what you'll tolerate, what you deserve, and by doing that, you kind of avoid the wrong people, the wrong situations, the wrong environments, and you bring in more of what is good for you, I guess. And by doing that, you're happier. You know, it's insane what support can do. Just having this one friend in my life has helped me tremendously. On my bad days, they are there. On my amazing days, they are there. And I for them as well. You know, by working on myself, I become a good friend. And there's been times in the past where I have not been a good friend at all. And it's very important to also reflect on that, because it's not ever they were a bad friend and I was a good friend. There's always both sides. And so in time that you separate yourself from the wrong people and the wrong situations, you focus on yourself, you find love within yourself, you find self-respect, and you put all that energy onto yourself and becoming a better person. And by doing that, you attract other people that you can be a better person for. And that's also another thing that's very important when we're talking about this topic, because we can be bad friends as well. And we can be a bad influence on someone else as well. And I know that I definitely have been, and you probably have been as well. So, to wrap this video up, I just want to say that if you feel like you are in the wrong situation right now, surrounded by the wrong people, if you feel lonely, understand that it is okay to spend time by yourself rather than surrounded by who is making you feel that way. And it's scary because we're human, we want to be social, we want to have people to hang out with, we want to have people to talk to, and it's fun, you know, to go out and everything, but it gets to a point where the fun sometimes doesn't feel as good because we aren't in the right room, we aren't with the right people, and we're almost just wasting time. We're almost just filling our time up and avoiding facing ourselves and facing these truths and these parts that could be worked on, but it's a lot harder to do that when we're surrounded by the wrong people. So I just want to say that I have had lots of friendships and I have had lots of time by myself, and in conclusion, I would say that I would rather be alone than with the wrong people. 1000%. I would rather be hanging out with myself and spending time with me than with people who didn't support me, people who didn't value me, and people who didn't respect me. I'm so glad that I've spent so much time on myself, because I know that I'm a great friend. I know that I have the capacity now to show up for the people in my life and show up as a positive influence. I know that I can be there for someone 1000%, and I know that I'm attracting people who also show that to me. And it's such a beautiful feeling to have someone in my life. Actually, it's more than one person. Actually, it's that I also have another friend that ever since I got sick, since last December, she has messaged me almost every single day, making sure I'm alright, giving updates about her life, and still including me in society, I guess, because I've spent a lot of time being sick. And so yeah, it's such a beautiful thing to have the right people in your life. And by spending time with the wrong people, you might actually be stopping yourself from meeting the right people. You might be stopping yourself from bringing that in. And you know, I think that it would be very sad if you spent your life surrounded by the wrong people, doing things that didn't make you feel good, and in the wrong situations and environment. I hope that this helps you open yourself up to reflecting on your life, reflecting on what you want. And I hope that by me talking about this, you can start to look at your life and look at the people around you and start setting those boundaries and not being afraid of losing the wrong people. And it's scary. I know it's scary. And it hurts. It hurts a lot, but you know, if I didn't say goodbye, then I wouldn't have met these new amazing people. And I don't want to know what that's like, because I love these people. And I love who I am now that I've spent so much time on my own and so much time understanding myself and putting value in myself. And yeah. So that is all that I have for this video. I hope that this helped, and please subscribe to my channel. I talk a lot about my healing journey, and I talk a lot about everything that I've kind of learnt in the last 2 years plus, and I just hope that it helps someone. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.